How's it going, everyone? This is Phil with PrecisionLED.com, and today we have the 2009 third generation Toyota Prius that will be installing LED into your lights on. Now, this is compatible with both the 2009 third gen and 2011 facelift model, as well as the current models as of 2014. Before we get started, it's important to note that the products and tools that you see in this video are available at www.PrecisionLED.com, and the product is linked below for your convenience. If you like these kinds of videos, please like or subscribe to the channel so that we know that you're out there watching and continue to make more just for you. Let's get started here with the front map LED installation. As you can see, we've already installed LEDs on one side of the vehicle. Let's go ahead and install LEDs on the passenger side. To remove the lens cover, you just need to wedge one of the trim tools in between the lens cover and the outer body that you see here, and it should come off pretty easily. It should pop off of two pegs on the top and the bottom. Once you have that lens cover off, you can remove the old halogen bulb and install the new LED. Now, it's important to note that these LEDs are polarity specific, so if you plug it in, you try it, it doesn't seem to work, you need to turn that bulb around 180 degrees and try that light again. As you can see, we've been able to get that LED to work. All we need to do is reinstall the lens cover. Moving right along to the vanity mirror LEDs. We're going to be using the flat end of the serrated knife tool and wedging in the side closest to the center console to get that housing out. There's a small clip that you can see here now that's holding it in place. All you're doing with that tool is pressing on it to allow it to release. Use your hands to remove that halogen bulb or a piece of tape or some rubber gloves and replace it with that new PrecisionLED 5050 SMD LED. In order to test polarity for this, since this is a polarity specific bulb, just make sure you turn the light back on and test before you reinsert that housing back in place. If that weren't the case and it wasn't working, you would flip the bulb 180 degrees to reverse polarity. Now moving on to that passenger dome light. Again, we're using the flat end of that serrated knife tool. There are two portions close to the switch that have a small notch that allows you to release the clear lens cover from the housing itself. Within contained is the festoon bulb that you'll be removing and replacing with the new LED bulb. Now, this one's a bit tricky to get in since it's a smaller, tight, cramped place. Just take your time and you should be able to get the new LED bulb in securely without too much effort. Again, make sure to test the bulbs before you reinsert that lens. If it doesn't work, reverse that bulb 180 degrees to reverse polarity and try it again. The lens cover goes right back on the same way it came off. Just get 2 good clicks when you're pushing it in to complete the install. For the door LED installation, we are again using the flat end of that serrated knife tool, and the side closest to the door edge is where we're going to be inserting the tool to release the housing from the trim. Now, this one takes a little bit more effort to get access to the bulb. There is a plastic clip near the bottom of this piece that you're going to need to release using the pointed wedge tool to get access to the halogen bulb. Just work your way slowly and release the clip, and don't use too much force. It is a fragile piece of plastic and you don't want to exert too much force on it to break it. Once you have that lens cover off, you do have access to the halogen bulb. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, so you use the back end with the pointed wedge tool to release the halogen bulb. Inserting the new LED isn't as difficult, as you can go in from the front and just push them in. Again, these are polarity specific. Make sure when you reconnect the bulb that it turns on. If it doesn't, you would flip that bulb around 180 degrees to reverse polarity. Make sure you put that clear plastic lens back on, and that one goes in connector side first, and then the clip forces down and clips into place in the front. Reinstallation is the same process. Make sure you clip that connector back in place before reinserting into the trim. Moving on to the trunk light installation. We're going to be using the flat end of that serrated knife tool, and you're inserting from the side closest to the switch in order to remove the panel from the trim. There is that gray cover that needs to come off in order to access the bulb. You can use any one of the tools just to pry up slightly to release them from the 4 clips that are holding it in place. Make sure you save that for later. We'll have to put that back in. This is just a simple festoon bulb that comes off of 2, bent metal pieces that are holding the bulb in place. The one tip we do have is when you reinsert the LED bulb, the LED bulb might be slightly larger than the halogen bulb that came out. You will be bending the metal slightly backward in order to fit the new bulb in place. Now, this is completely reversible. don't have to worry about going back to stock later on. You can just bend that metal back when you put a halogen bulb in. Once it's in place, you want to make sure that the LED diodes, those boards, are facing towards the clear lens, and then you put the gray cover back on to prepare for reinstallation into the housing. Connector side goes in first, and you wait for that click sound when you push in, and then test the bulb to make sure it works. For the license plate lights, we'll be using the crowbar shaped tool and inserting from the top to get access to these panels. These panels are covering the license plate housings. What you need to first do is remove the wire connector, and then you're going to use the serrated knife tool, insert a portion of it, and turn counterclockwise to release it from the assembly. Once you have this piece out, you'll be able to remove the halogen bulb with just your fingers and replace it with the new LED. It may be hot, you may want to use a glove or some pliers to remove that bulb. Once you have the new LED in, you want to test for polarity to see which orientation you're going to be reinstalling that connector. The problem here is you need to reinstall the license plate bulb holder back into place without the wire connector in. You want to line up the tabs, at least insert into the housing, and then again use that serrated knife tool to turn it clockwise then to lock it in place. Now you have to choose, based on what you did before, inserting that wire connector in the right orientation for them to turn on. You can try this a couple times. You should be able to see the light through some of the cracks in the housing inside there to figure out which way it goes to stay turned on. Once you have everything prepared, from the bottom to the top, you're reinstalling that trim panel. For the parking lights, you're going to be using just your hands to turn counterclockwise to get this assembly out. This is very similar to the license plate light in its shape and form. Remove that old halogen bulb, get the new LED bulb in, and when you're reinserting, it's going to take some effort because it is a tight space to get access to. So it may take some time, but as long as you get those tabs lined up correctly, you'll feel it pop into place and you'll be able to turn it clockwise to reinstall it. And that's the end of the installation. If you have any questions or concerns, please email us at help@precisionled.com, or you can reach us online and submit a support ticket at www.precisionled.com/contact.